I just drank something out of a questionable container.
That sounds fascinating.
So before the recordings, I like to get a little bit of caffeine.
Okay.
Because it just helps me think,
makes you have to go to the bathroom.
Absolutely.
All that kind of stuff.
That also keeps me awake.
I feel ya.
But I can't drink coffee. I don't like coffee. Do you like coffee?
No. I mean, I've only had it twice.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. But I didn't really like it either time. One time I didn't even know I was ordering it.
Oh, really? Oh, was that in Italy?
No, it was in Japan.
In Japan?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was at the Capcom Cafe.
Okay.
And I ordered a drink that was the name of a character.
Oh,
from
gotcha.
Resident Evil.
Okay, sure.
Who was it? It doesn't matter. Anyway, the drink was black coffee with like cherries in it or something. No, was it just black coffee? I don't remember. It was like just
not what you wanted.
Real tall black iced coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. So I have this this stuff that I drink. You know what I'm talking about. Because coffee. What happens when I drink coffee is my brain stays awake, but there's no change in its functionality. Like it doesn't work better.
I know why, and I can explain it chemically.
Really?
Sort of.
Okay.
Yeah, so the neuroreceptor that I can't remember the name of it, but the neuroreceptor that's like responsible for the feeling of sleepiness, or neurochemical, you know the thing. Anyway, so the one that's responsible for that feeling, caffeine binds to its receptors and blocks them.
Okay.
So they can load up. Your body's like, hey, we're getting sleepy. But then the brain's like, no one's telling me anything. I guess we're good.
Okay.
Guess we're good here.
All right. That makes sense.
Anyway, yeah.
No, so I have this
like it's this energy powder.
Yeah, it's powder you mix with water. It's really simple, it's pretty easy. I grabbed a bottle out of the cupboard.
Yeah.
And I poured water into it, shook it up. I was driving over here.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I took my first swig and I was like, this doesn't taste right. I don't think that the bottle I grabbed was clean. But I was like, man, I really could use this right now. So I just drank it anyway. And I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling fine. I don't think I was poisoned or anything.
Guys, this is going to be Matt's first death live on air.
Yeah.
First time. No one's ever seen this before.
First time dying. Absolutely.
Oh, so exciting. And that's not the only exciting thing we have coming at you this episode. Welcome back to I Cast Vicious Mockery. I'm Austin.
I'm Matt, yeah.
Matt, yeah.
Matt, yeah.
You changed your name?
That's what you can call me.
That's right, guys. We're talking about Dungeons and Dragons, a game where you can change your name. That's the coolest feature of it. But there's some other fun stuff too.
Dude, character creation is insane in Dungeons
There's
and Dragons.
A lot to it. The name is is the name the hard part or the easy part?
I find naming to be tough sometimes.
I guess it depends. It depends on how much you care about what your character is called, because sometimes it doesn't matter too much.
Yeah.
And or sometimes it's just like a foreign thing. Like you just need it to sound foreign in some way.
Yeah. I do think that I'm very intuitive about it. Like I'll look up names and I'll cycle through them, and then I'll come on one and I'll be like, yeah, that's the one. You know what I mean? For no particular reason. Yeah. No, I understand that. But sometimes you just kind of stumble across the perfect name.
Sometimes the name is like you've got the name and you're like, this is the most important part of my character. I don't know what the rest is going to be, but that name, I've got it down.
Yeah, you can build a character around a name. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you can start when you're creating a character, you can start with whatever part you want.
You could be like, your name could be like Daniel the Hilarious. And like, how'd you get that title?
Yeah.
Like, what is that all about?
Maybe it was self-imposed.
Right. In which case, like, what kind of person are you?
Yeah, what kind of person would name themselves that? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, not the funny, not the clever, not the, whatever, but like the hilarious.
Right.
It's hard to say even. Right? Like the hilarious. Doesn't sound good.
Yeah, I'm Daniel the Hilarious.
So maybe that character is not good at picking names.
Man, it rolls off the tongue like Ellen DeGeneres,
So,
yeah.
Oh, we got some exciting stuff today. Now, the first thing is, this is an announcement. We're going to be having a guest on the podcast soon?
Yeah, within the next couple of episodes, I think.
We don't actually know.
We don't know for sure.
We don't know for sure. We can't confirm. But I can't tell you what their name is.
No.
But I can tell you that their initials stand for Matthew Mercer.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not him, guys.
He's flying up from LA.
Is that where they live?
Yeah, they all live in LA. I mean, they're voice actors. All actors live in LA, right?
I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
you know better than I do.
Yeah,
suffice to say.
Yeah, I think nowadays pretty much everything is in LA as far as that goes. I do know. Well,
I'm a campaign set in LA.
A campaign set in LA?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about LA.
I've
never been there.
We'll save that one for future contemplation.
Yeah, probably. But I will say this. I do know that Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey, I might have my facts wrong, but I know that they got their start in voice acting, or at least early in their careers, they voice acted in Texas. Because that's where the Funimation studio
explains the accents on all the characters in Dragon Ball Z. They're like...
Yeah. Okay, Austin, what are they like?
What are they like?
What are they like?
Well, howdy, y'all. My name's Goku. I don't know what a Texas accent is. I think that was that what I just did was like some kind of weird, like, deep Appalachian, but not too deep. Not so deep that you can't understand it and they give subtitles on TV, but like we're talking middle of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. That's what they call that area.
I thought that was the whole state, except for maybe Philadelphia.
Yeah. None of the other cities are really very big. Even Pittsburgh's not that big.
No.
Really.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's confusing. Hey, if you've ever been to Pittsburgh, just like driving through,
yeah,
I'm so sorry. It's a confusing mess.
Yeah.
There. Oh boy.
That's my bad. I was born there.
Yes. Yeah.
So, oops, I did that.
Yeah. What's wrong with you, man?
Yeah.
No, it's because they built a city in the smack dab center of 3 rivers.
It made sense when it started.
Right. It did make sense when they started.
Before we continue,
you're right. We'll
get on to the show. Okay. We will.
Okay.
I got to tell you guys something. You're overdue.
Yeah.
I'm expecting some homework assignments on my desk today. You know what I'm saying? Look down in the video description. Read through those show notes and tell me you don't find that homework in there. That's going to be on the homework.
It was on the syllabus, guys.
It was on there. No, actually, we've been getting some thoughtful comments and really nice reactions from friends, whether in the YouTube comment section or in person. We really appreciate that.
We do.
You do also need to do the homework, though.
Yes, please.
And I'm going to be in there doing my homework from now on, too. I might even be able to, if I have time, I'm going to go back through the previous episodes and do that homework, too.
Backlog the homework?
Yeah. Because I'll admit, guys, I let it get ahead of me. I did. So I understand where you're coming from, guys, and we will make it together. We will catch up on our homework.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm not going to do it, but you guys can feel free to go back and do some of that homework. Yeah, it's an important part of show participation, everyone. You really have to do it.
You don't really have to. If you missed it, if you haven't seen it yet, I hope you do take a look.
Yeah, the homework is
it's one of my most favoritist parts of these episodes is going through. We re-listen to it and make all the timestamps, and I make the homework assignments.
I think I have yet to make a homework suggestion. So really, it's all Austin. He's really carrying the load here for us on the podcast. So yeah.
Speaking of carrying loads, let's segue into something unrelated.
Absolutely. So character flaws.
Yeah, we still got some more of those. Do you want to? You have a big thing about character flaws today, I think.
Yes.
You've uncovered a source.
Yeah.
Right? You uncovered like the wellspring from which all character flaws are brought unto us.
Absolutely.
So please share.
Well, okay, so it started with I ran the Halloween themed one shot.
Awesome.
That I explained.
Guys, themed one shots. That's going to be a future episode.
Themed one shots.
Themed one shots. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea for a topic.
Now you can't talk now. For the rest of the episode, I jinxed you.
I thought I just owed you a soda.
I don't drink soda.
Oh, you're right. You got me. Well,
I'll let Anna take the soda, and then we can keep going.
Okay. There we go. Then the podcast can continue.
You can grab her one from the kitchen on
my way out. Yeah, I'll grab one of your sodas and give it to her.
Okay.
But I know you couldn't make it that day to the one shot, but
you guys can't see me, but I'm crying right now.
I can't say it went really well. I really realized I needed to do a lot more preparation. I need to do a lot less preparation in certain areas and a lot more in others. But that's not what I'm here to talk about.
No.
What I'm here to talk about is I discovered through this one shot where the players played as monsters.
Yes.
Monsters have great character flaws.
Excellent character flaws.
They're so good. They're so good. And like most of them are combat related because I mean, that's the situation where you're going to run into monsters most often is combat, right?
Right.
So there's like the troll who nope. No real character flaw there. They I guess really.
Yeah, trolls are pretty good.
Because they don't get more hurt by fire or acid damage than usual. They just don't regenerate if they get hit by it. So let's forget about trolls for a second. So my characters played as a couple of different specific. They're all challenge rating 5 monsters, just to make everybody on the same even playing field. So one of them was the Revenant.
Ooh.
Which, just like that movie, where
the bear,
the bear with
and the guy,
where Leo got his Oscar, that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Revenant, it's not so much. This is nice because it's not a flaw. I guess it doesn't really follow the rules that you established before. It's more of a flaw that is role play driven.
And we're talking more about some of those today.
Right. So I would say the flaw for the Revenant is they really only care. Basically, they come back to life because they have like unfinished business, but specifically it's revenge based. They take revenge on somebody. So their flaw is that they have only one singular focus. Killing this person.
Yes.
Or thing. Or monster, maybe even. I don't know. Could be anything really. And doing that by any means necessary.
Yes.
Which doesn't sound like a flaw on the surface.
But it's in the flaw discussion, so you guys know how this is going to go.
Yeah, it is, I think, a flaw, right? Because you know, it's I guess a trope in media maybe as well. But you think of Greek mythology or something like that. It's kind of got a hubris vibe to it, I think, where somebody is so focused on revenge that they lose out on their humanity. You know, they're already undead.
Yep.
Right. But you know, based on the way it's worded, they still have all of their faculties. They're still mentally the same person they were before they died. But just thinking about the way that coming back to life for revenge could change somebody, you know?
Yeah. Well, so the one thing is about having a sole singular focus like that is that depending on how strict it is, I guess, or not even strict, but because it is strict, it's fully, completely 100% strict. That is their whole deal.
Yeah.
But depending on how flexible their thinking is around that, and how, like, which things they can see as being part of that that goal, it could really limit them. It could limit them to only choices that are not good, like for them or other people or whatever. So, for instance, like let's look at what happens if you lack flexibility in your thinking. All right, if you're a cavalry soldier and you're using a big, huge, like, lance, when you get knocked off your horse, if you're like, I got to use my lance because that's what I'm holding, that's stupid, right?
Yeah.
Like, as soon as the horse is gone, like, you have to switch weapons, right? You can't just hold on to what you're holding on to. And there is a lot of situations like that in life or in D&D even.
Yeah.
Where you have to change game plans. And if your focus is too narrow, you're going to miss that.
And, you know, perfect character, you know, popular media character to maybe use if you wanted your character to have this flaw. Zuko.
There it is.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
He had a singular focus, capture the Avatar.
Yeah.
And he has one of the best character arcs of any show I've ever seen, I think.
Right. And you can see what happens is every time they keep putting that one focus into conflict with his other interests.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
And you get to see each of his choices, and he gradually switches from that sole focus to the exact opposite.
Exactly.
And you see literally, like, they're giving you benchmarks every time his thinking changes.
Yeah. It starts when he cuts off his top knot and officially, like, defects from the Fire Nation. And I think it really comes to a head when he gets everything he wanted. You know, like, his honor was restored. He was brought back. I think that is, well, obviously that's really when the switch flipped, because ultimately he decided to leave again.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Well, but even then, like, so there are instant, like, the first time oh shoot, this is spoilers. So the first episode with the blue spirit, he is so focused on getting the Avatar that he doesn't you could tell he doesn't care about anything else except for himself.
Yeah.
Right. But as a result, he ultimately helps the Avatar. He didn't mean to. He definitely didn't mean to. He wasn't doing that because he was being nice. He was going to, you know, take him himself. But as a result of that, you can see his selfishness at the beginning, right? And you can see his sole focus of, no matter what, it doesn't matter that the Fire Nation has the Avatar like he wanted them to have. It matters that he didn't get it.
Yeah.
You know, well, he didn't bring him in.
You can see that from the very beginning, because when he refuses to tell Admiral Zhao,
right,
in like episode like 4 or 5, that he found the Avatar, you know, all that stuff. It was purely
he won't work with anybody. He won't do, like, and then it's such a good change. I guess if you're playing as a Revenant, you're stuck.
Yeah.
Right, and your character could overcome their flaws. They don't need to.
No,
because real people have flaws. But they could overcome their flaws. Now, here's the thing about overcoming a character flaw. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but have you ever done something that you knew you shouldn't do? Or not done something that you knew you should do?
Absolutely, everybody does.
Yeah, how many times today have you done that? Because I can't even count it for myself.
No, it's probably in the hundreds.
It's crazy. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right.
And for context, because I think that a lot of people would be like, no, of course not. Why would I, do something that's harmful to me or not do something that's beneficial to me?
Yeah.
But the thing is that everybody knows that you should eat healthy.
Right.
And if you ate something that wasn't healthy for it, like if you ate a donut today or a piece of candy, then you actively did something that's bad for you.
Right. Right. And you knew it.
And you knew that. Yeah.
And it's not like it's the end of the world.
No, you can do that stuff. Yeah, exactly. That doesn't make you a bad person.
Now, here, ready?
Okay.
Well, actually, I wanted to talk about this in combat, so we could talk about that later. But like overcoming character flaws, we shouldn't expect that a character has their flaw pointed out, and then they just are like, "Oh, I'm better now."
Of course not. That would be terrible storytelling.
Right? Like, how many times have you had the same fight with somebody?
Oh, of course.
That's basically all that happens, right? It's the same fight over and over and over and over.
Yeah. They say you always do this thing,
right?
And then you maybe try to deny it, or
right. Yeah.
Just apologize every time, but do it again anyway. Yeah.
And now, what about this? How many times have you had this problem over and over and over, overcome it, and then realized actually you still have that problem? It just looks different now.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So a deeper level of the same flaw is very much possible.
Yeah. You challenge yourself, you overcome a flaw, then you feel like you've succeeded, you stop paying attention to it, and then it comes back exactly the same way it was before.
Yep.
That can happen too.
Yeah, and so you'll see this in sitcoms especially. Right? During a season, a character might be getting better and better and better at something, but by the end of the show, nothing will have changed. Right. They need to be the same person they were.
That's out of necessity too.
Right. So new people can watch the show and see them struggle through this thing. Yeah.
Right. Right. So or that you can pick up an episode anywhere in any season and still know who the character
is.
Who the character is.
Exactly.
Right.
So you'll see that stuff all the time. It's okay if that's kind of how it is for your character. Like that, if they have trouble with this flaw and then they have trouble with it again and so on, that's fine. You should expect that.
Absolutely. Well, yeah.
That makes them almost too realistic. It's going to be real sad when they die because of their stupid character flaw you gave them.
Yeah, why'd you give them such a crazy flaw?
All right, can we get some more flaws from monsters?
Yeah. Okay. Should I just bust out the ultimate flaw monster?
Yeah.
Is it time?
Yeah.
Vampires.
Heck yeah, dude! Let's kill them. Sorry, am I allowed to say that? I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I don't see why not.
I guess they're vampires. They're not real.
No, I just love.
But if they were real,
this is like common knowledge stuff, right?
Yeah.
But just take a step backwards for a second. Out of context, pretend you don't know what a vampire is and what a vampire does.
I got no clue what a vampire is or a vampire does.
Okay, excellent. You're very good at this.
Yeah.
Okay. There are these creatures that exist. You're just hearing about them for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready for these creatures, these mysterious things.
They look like people, but they are pale. So they look like people.
Like me.
Kind of like you. Yeah, they look like you.
Yeah.
They've got like kind of extra long canines, pointy teeth.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
They can't come out during the day because sunlight hurts them.
Like me, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yep, still like you. We're piecing some stuff together. The only way they can sustain themselves is by drinking blood, preferably blood of a human being. Okay.
No comment.
Got it. Okay. And they can't be killed unless you stab them in their heart with a wooden stake while they're laying in the coffin that they have to sleep in order to recover from injuries. Got it?
I have not been killed in any other way than that.
Excellent.
Or that. But that's beside the point.
I'm not even sure if that's entirely true. I know they need to be stabbed in the heart while laying in their resting place. Mm-hmm. Okay, but don't even think about fording a river. Running water paralyzes you.
I've never seen water run.
How great. Okay.
I've seen it.
Okay, but seriously though. Seriously.
Yeah.
Why? Like, what does that even mean?
So have you played an Aarakocra?
Have I played one?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I've DM'd for one, yes.
So listen.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a flaw.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read about it, but when they are in an enclosed space,
oh yeah,
they have to make a wisdom saving throw or get the fear effect until they are out of that space.
They're claustrophobic.
That
makes sense because they fly.
Yeah, and they live in the elemental plane of air sometimes.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty much wide open.
Yeah,
the entire place.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, besides the other fact that they live to like 30.
Right. Yeah.
They've got other problems too. That's a biological flaw. Whatever.
Right, yeah.
Who cares about those?
Okay. Favorite flaw from a vampire though. Ready?
Yeah.
They can't enter your house unless you invite them.
What if it's
something?
Can you invite them into somebody else's house? Like
yes.
Okay.
They need to be invited to enter
any building.
Or I think it's any building. I'm not sure if it's just residences. Or if it's any building.
Like they like look at the zoning map and they're like, all right, where's the targets at tonight?
They're like, oh, wait, hold on a second. These people are squatting here, but this is zoned for businesses. So I think I can get away with it. There's a loophole.
So when you get a rules lawyer vampire, you know you're screwed, man.
Absolutely. That's so I love that flaw. I love that flaw. What if a regular player character, not even a vampire, but a regular player character picked that flaw?
Right.
You can't go into somebody's house unless you're invited. Because that could be like a super like socially awkward thing. Like you don't want to enter. Yeah. You don't want
which types of characters can that fit with? I'm talking about classes right now. Could be races too, but
sure.
There are too many of them, so we're not going to consider them all. So classes, though. So I could see we could reason it for any of them. A barbarian might be like, no, wait. Or maybe if barbarian or ranger, they could both be like, I only enter a shelter if I built it myself.
Okay, yeah,
that could be their deal. So it's similar to that, but maybe if they're like invited in, they can go in or something. So
it would be really funny for a rogue.
Yes.
To be like, I can't go in there.
Well, that could be their like, I'm a thief, but like I'm not just a gentlemanly thief. I am so gentlemanly that they will know who I am and they will invite me back.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like that's their whole deal is like,
so they're it's like a self-imposed challenge.
Yes.
Or
which is also what it is to the player.
Like a code of honor. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what giving yourself a flaw and sticking to it is. It's a self-imposed challenge that makes the game more interesting.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. What other classes? Because I think I had some. Druid. Sort of.
Sure.
I'm thinking like, what if your druid just can't go in man-made structures?
Yeah. Like
they're like, that's not nature.
Yeah,
that's not nature, or it's not nature for sure. That's neat nature.
Let me list the things that's not. Number 1, nature.
Yeah, so that could be a nice druid thing.
Oh man, that could even extend to like walled off cities.
Yeah. Clerics and paladins. That's easy for them. It could be a rule of their church or their whatever a paladin order. That like you are polite to people and you have to ask for permission before you enter somewhere. But then they follow that rule religiously.
Haha, I see what you did there.
Right. And if
literally,
what happens if they don't?
Maybe
there's a God watching them.
Yeah, they get mad.
Like maybe they do get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
like they walked in uninvited or something. You guys had to break into somewhere, and then like your God's like, "Hey,
whoa,
that's not cool, dude.
Yeah,
taking away your powers, and I'm gonna shoot you with lightning."
You're in magic timeout.
Yeah, imagine noticing that when you're in a battle, and then the God's like, "Oh, hey, I see you're in a little bit of a kerfuffle down there, huh? You could probably use some God magic, I guess. Maybe you shouldn't have, I don't know, made your God angry. Huh?
Huh?
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. Maybe not so bad for a paladin, because they usually can fight. But clerics, though, that would be terrible for a cleric.
Yep.
As somebody who plays a cleric, how terrible would that be if you had no spells in a battle?
So I got my mace too.
Right.
And that's gonna be, up to a D6 of damage. I think my hit die is a 4. So it's gonna hit most things with an armor class less than 10. And
armor class less than 10. Those exist, but they're kind of hard to find.
Yeah, I know.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Edward has not had many chances to kill something with his mace. I keep being like, all right, this is gonna be fun. One. I'm gonna boom. He did smash something at some point. I don't remember
with a mace. Yeah.
Okay. I actually might have written it in my notes. Doesn't matter right now. Okay, we got some more we have even more character flaws. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll just keep coming.
Maybe they will. Yeah.
All right. So, but I want to talk about role playing versus mechanics for character flaws.
Absolutely.
They're both good ideas. So last episode, I wanted to talk mostly about mechanics. This episode, we got some role playing stuff, or some of it's mechanical, but
sure.
I'm going to deliver the same character flaw.
Okay.
Both ways now.
Okay.
And that character flaw is stuttering.
Oh.
If you have a stutter and you're a real person, I don't think there's anything wrong with you. But I think in D&D, you can use the stutter as like a mechanical thing, because no characters have a stutter in D&D unless you specify.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not like a thing that just spontaneously I mean, it kind of does technically. I don't know. Whatever. It kind of happens, but it's all planned out. There's like, if somebody has any sort of thing like that, any speech pathology in D&D, it's because someone wanted them to be that way, not because like, oops, they just are, right? So it's a little different than for real. So let's talk about it. We got the mechanical version. The mechanical version that I thought of goes kind of like this. You automatically get 20 charisma because you are just, whoa. Hang with me here for a second, though.
Okay.
So you have 20 charisma because you either are so attractive, you're so like terrifyingly brutal looking, so whatever it is. Yeah. Like whether you intimidate people or what.
Yeah, force of character, absolutely.
Yes. However, every time you have to speak to make any type of charisma check, you have to roll a die and see if your character stutters. If they stutter, you have disadvantage. Right? Because like it doesn't it doesn't matter how intimidating somebody is. If they're like, look, you better stay away. Like, it's gonna throw it off, right? Like, so maybe your character will get around that a lot by just using their imposing nature or their just suave attractiveness of body. Yeah, but
just belly dance their way around.
Like, oh, and like they like beckon with their finger.
Give them a little bit of that.
So that they could get around it that way and like use that 20 charisma, but then there's just going to be times when like they're not all that great because oops, like they just messed up this time. Now I didn't work out the percentages of how that should be, because like it's an extra dice roll, right? And then you determine if you're going to get disadvantage. It could also be that every time they talk, they stutter, and you have disadvantage on everything that involves talking, and you just have to get around it.
Yeah.
That's fine too.
That's possible.
But, you know, I thought it could go either way. Now, let's talk about the stutter from a role-playing perspective, though. If you want to role-play it, here's a good example of how you can do that same thing. When you stutter, you have disadvantage. However, your character stutters when they're nervous.
Okay.
So it's up to you to determine when that is. Now, if that doesn't make role-playing sound like the harder option, I don't know what will. Yeah. I think it is the harder option.
Yeah, I agree.
Harder does not mean better. Harder means different people are going to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it depends on the person.
In fact, I wouldn't even call it the harder option. I would just say it has more choices involved. So if you want to spend your time thinking about how your character should interact talking with people, then that's a good character flaw for you. If you want to spend more time thinking about how, like, your character in combat, that's not a good character flaw for you. All right? But okay, so because, like, how do you determine when they're nervous?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, my instinct was to say, if you are nervous, like as the player,
then that's a good starting point.
They're probably pretty nervous.
That's a great starting point. Like, why differ from your own feelings if you don't have to?
But that would mean that some players would be stuttering always.
Yeah, because and some would never.
Right.
Because they'd be like, whatever, it's just a game. Like, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and we've got the full spectrum in our game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are people who will just mess around with it and just pull at the game and see what will happen.
Yeah.
And then there are people who, like, it's life and death.
Yeah. Yeah. They're so worried to mess something up.
And guess what?
Yeah.
All those play styles are good.
Yeah.
You know,
they make things interesting.
Think if somebody is poking around, prodding at the game and, like, messing with the rules and stuff, that's so fun because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's so fun. And if somebody is so serious about it that they get way into it like that, that delivers some very impactful moments. Right? Like, that's going to hit you real hard. Sometimes in a great way, sometimes in a bad way, but, like, always it's going to give you that sort of emotional range that, you know, D&D can offer.
It offers quite the emotional range. Absolutely. Sure does. I can't argue with you there. Yeah. Yeah. It's such a D&D. It's because you're so involved when you play it. You are so involved when you play, no matter what side of the DM screen you're on.
Right.
You have put so much work into the game. Emotions like just go all over the place. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, is this a good moment for some home brew?
We got some brewskis. We sipping them brewskis up in here, guys.
Absolutely. Brewskis.
I am excited for some home brew right now.
Okay, I'll try to get through these ones quick, but the first one I want to do here, these are from Reddit again. And
thanks, Reddit, again.
This is from Mudkip Ninja 56.
Ooh, do you think they were born in 1956?
Yes, I do. I do think that. And then when they were, you know, in their mid 30s, they picked up the brand new copy of Pokemon. 40s. I guess when Mudkip, I guess
they would have been 40 years old.
40 something, yeah. So this is status effects and conditions. So obviously D&D has status effects and conditions. These are, some of them are new and some of them are reworked for 5th edition.
Yeah.
So other editions had, I think, some of these status effects and conditions already. And this is their attempt to sort of work them into 5th edition a little bit.
Because what we need is more status conditions.
Yeah, we need more rules. That's what 5th edition really needs.
More rules.
I'll just kind of blast through them because there's a lot here, but some of them are interesting. I don't think that all of these are very good, if I'm being honest. And I'm not bashing them or anything.
I'm going to guess which ones you like and which ones you don't. So don't tell me.
Okay.
Just pitch them all like they're the best.
Okay. Status effect, bleeding. That was something that was mechanically in earlier editions.
Yeah, I think it was in 4th even.
Yeah. Gives them disadvantage on Constitution saves. Whenever they regain hit points, they only regain half of what they normally would if they're bleeding. And whenever they take damage, they take an additional D4.
Yeah.
Because they're bleeding. Yeah,
and that's like you got pierced through the shoulder or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't necessarily. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It says this occurs with large sudden wounds, excessive piercing damage. If you get a lot of piercing damage, there's probably like a hit point threshold. If you get that much piercing damage, now you're bleeding. Right.
Yep.
Okay. More on that in a minute. Blessed, which there's a spell.
Yeah.
That you can cast called Blessed, but I think this is a little different. You regain 1d6 hit points at the beginning of all of your turns. You have advantage on all saving throws, attack rolls, and ability checks. That's, well, no comment yet. When the creature would be reduced to 0 hit points, they are instead reduced to 1. Huh. Though it seems that the only way to get that is through divine intervention, which is something clerics can do. And there is a very small percentage chance that will work.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Well, it's better than the blessed spell.
Yes, it is better than the blessed spell.
Strictly better.
Burning from excessive fire damage, being set on fire. Disadvantage on Constitution saves. 1d4 fire damage at the beginning of each of their turns. Disadvantage on ability checks. Melee attacks against them have disadvantage when they're on fire. That does make sense. And it ends if they douse themselves.
So that's like that's not, I guess burning is the right word for it, but they're literally on fire.
Yes.
Okay. They're not burned like they have a burn wound on them now. They're
on fire.
Yes.
Yes.
And they're not inflamed either.
They're not inflamed. Confused, which there's a spell called Confusion. But applied from strong magic, clouded or unfocused mind. A creature has a 50% chance to attack the wrong target. Roll a d100. If it's below 50, the creature's target instead becomes the next closest available creature. Probably want to make that random instead of the next available or closest. Be it friend or foe. Diseased, which is a condition already.
Yeah.
But again, some of these I think are just on top of the conditions already. Exposure to squalid conditions for an extended period of time. It automatically fails Constitution saves, disadvantage on all other saving throws and attack rolls. Cannot regain any hit points except by magical means. So resting doesn't get you hit points back. For the duration, max hit points is reduced by half. Ooh boy. Frozen. Excessive cold damage, freezing weather conditions, paralyzed, resistance to all damage except for fire, vulnerable to fire damage. Frailed. A frailed creature's AC is reduced by 5. Disadvantage on Constitution saving throws. Additional rules for being poisoned. Poison creatures disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks, which I think is already the case. A creature takes 1d4 poison damage at the start of each of its turns. That kind of makes sense.
That's like Pokemon poison there.
Uh-huh.
Which is how I thought it would work, but it doesn't.
No, not in the actual rules. If a creature remains poisoned for longer than 5 minutes, it begins to take 1d6 damage at the start of all its turns.
Ooh, it gets worse.
Yes.
That makes sense. That's how real poisons usually work.
Can attempt to expel the poison by making Constitution saving throw at the end of each turns, which is kind of how it usually works. There's just 4 more here. Possessed, like being possessed by a specter of some kind.
Yep.
Can't make actions or movement on its own. As long as they remain possessed, they obey any and all actions issued by the possessor. Pretty self-explanatory. Slippery. Yeah.
I like the name of it.
Yeah. Slippery creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws and related ability checks.
Wait. Is it harder to grapple them, though?
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay. Oh, there was more? Okay.
Oh, there's more.
Okay.
They slide an additional 5 feet in the direction they were moving when they take their movement.
Guys, I'm just covered in this goo. I can't stop sliding around.
Attacks made against the creature have disadvantage. I imagine. It doesn't say anything about grapple, but I imagine yes. Well, I guess grappling is like an attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Just disadvantage, though, I think it would be harder than that.
Maybe when
you also have advantage
on escaping grapples.
Yeah, probably.
I would say so. Because look, I've grappled with slippery people before.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's the truth.
It's tough. I know what you mean, man. I've been a slippery person being grappled.
I get sticky. I get sticky when I'm all sweaty.
Dude.
So, like, I just get my skin peeled off and whatever.
Being slippery when doing jiu-jitsu is the best. Nobody can, no gi, right? Like no uniform. Oh man, nobody can hold on to you, dude. It's awesome. I have a lot of experience with that. Okay, 2 more. Squibbed. A squibbed.
I love the name of it.
A squibbed creature is unable to cast any magical spells. Oh boy, a creature affected in this way regains magical abilities after 1d4 hours.
We actually talked about that one. Now, you could be squibbed in different ways, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like your god could be like, hey, sup, squib?
Yeah.
Are you a squib or are you a kib?
And then lastly, weakened. Weakened creature deals half damage on all attacks. Disadvantage on strength saving throws and attack rolls. That actually exists too. Raven Feeblement does that. Or I think it does something like that at least.
It might be called enfeebled.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
But what do you think? Any of those jump out at you?
Can we just go through the list and you say the name and I'll tell you whether I think you liked it or not?
Okay, sure. Bleeding.
No.
It doesn't make any sense for 5th edition.
No. It's not with the way that healing works and stuff.
It's a negative feedback loop, which is not fun.
Right.
People don't like negative feedback loops.
Right.
Like for those uninitiated, that basically just means that as you start doing more and more poorly, the game gets harder.
Right.
which that's, yeah. There's a reason I think they got rid of bleeding.
Yeah. Being bloodied sucks.
Yeah.
And it's bad and it's not fun and nobody wanted it and we're glad it's gone.
Right. I mean, some
people do like
some hardcore players are like, come on, man, it makes it too easy without being bloody. Well, that's fine if you want to do that, but no, I don't like that very much.
Maybe we will eventually too. Look,
maybe, yeah.
So our stances on this stuff, it's not like politics where you have to stick with the same thing for the rest of your life. I'm not going to get into any specifics, okay?
Yeah. I gotcha.
But like if you don't, you're seen as terrible. Like, no, here it's okay if you change your mind and you want to try something different.
Yeah. I mean,
it's encouraged.
You could ask me tomorrow.
Let's do it.
And I might say, we should do bleeding in our campaign.
Which is how I'm trying to convince you right now, yeah. No, okay, no. What's the next one?
Blessed.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's cool, but I agree that it would have to be pretty hard to do.
Yep, exactly.
In order for it to make any sense.
I feel like, though, it could just be a spell effect. I don't think it has to be an actual status effect, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like, I feel like there can just be some... but okay, I guess if it's a status, whatever.
I think it's a little strong, and it could be better if it required concentration.
I think it'd be cool. if your enemy got blessed.
There you go.
Right? Like,
yeah, I mean, your enemy has gods too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or what if you just find out that you're on the wrong side for that god? Like, you were supporting this god the whole time, and that you were like, we gotta rescue the world because it's what they want. And you come up against the bad guy, and they're like, actually, I'm the god's chosen one.
Oh.
And you're like, shoot.
Oh yeah, yeah. For all you Critical Role fans out there, spoilers maybe for campaign 2, early campaign 2. That's like a Ford Avantika situation there, I think, that he's talking about. Anyway. Yeah, well, I know you don't know what I mean. That was for the audience, not for you. Okay. Burning.
No.
Well, here's the thing. There are spells that can catch creatures on fire. Yeah. There are like already rules for that, and I think they're pretty good. I don't think they need to be changed at all. It's just that you take fire damage at the beginning of your turn. That's it.
I do like that if somebody I think if somebody grapples you while you're on fire or something, yeah, they should catch on fire.
Yeah, or inadvertently put it out by smothering the fire.
Yes. So yeah, there'd be like a quick D100, either like if it's 50 or above, they catch on fire as well. If it's 1 through 48, not 4d8, 48. They put out the fire, and then that last percent, that's just the fun stuff. That's just the fun stuff right there.
Anything you can think of.
The kiss?
They become romantically involved with each other.
What?
The fire was passion all along. That's what we find out in that middle percentage. Confused.
No, but here's why. What if there's nobody else next to you?
Right. And also the confused condition exists. You can just use the confusion spell rules if you want somebody to be confused.
Yeah.
I don't see why you would need anything
Except
else.
We know that this person likes Pokemon.
Yes. Well, right.
So they're going to bring in those status conditions, which is great because actually maybe that's what you want. You want to have that sort of complexity in battle where you're planning for these different possible types of attacks, and like all sorts of things could go wrong or right.
Right.
And because so the negative feedback loop of bleeding sucks when it happens to the players. But what if your character uses a crossbow with a special type of ammunition that causes intense bleeding? Even if on like small hits, it like cuts just a little bit, and then it's like, what? Oh,
yeah, like it's coated in a special kind of poison, maybe that.
Yeah, it stops blood from coagulating or whatever.
Thins the blood, or like a blood thinner. Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Yeah, or it could even increase your heart rate and stuff too.
Oh, geez, yeah,
and it makes you like you're just like, what? No. I mean, it could be pretty bad. So I could see why someone would want these. Anyway, let's keep going.
No, I agree. I don't think that any of them are dumb or useless.
Right. I guess if we thought it was dumb and useless, we wouldn't bring it on the show for you guys.
Right.
We're better than that.
Right. Exactly. All of these, any and all of these would work for somebody's campaign. Absolutely. Diseased.
There's already that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my thoughts too. There already is that. I think that the reason why I don't like it as much is because there are a lot of different diseases in the rules of 5th edition that do a bunch of different cool stuff.
Yeah.
And this one is just like disease.
In fact, that one's taken from RuneScape.
Oh, yeah.
I don't what was the effect on it?
It automatically fails con saves, disadvantage on all other saving throws and attack rolls. Cannot regain health except by magical means, and their max hit points are reduced by half.
I'll say that's close enough to being the D&D equivalent of the RuneScape thing that happens when you're diseased.
Yeah.
I don't think that's where they got it, but I just think it's a similar effect. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are clearly inspired from different sources on video games and the like. Yeah.
So what's the next guy we got?
Frozen.
Oh, Frozen. Does it need to be a status effect? I mean, I think yes. Characters should be able to be encased in ice.
Yeah.
Actually, is that what this Frozen says? Or are they frozen like from the inside all the way through?
No.
Is it like a flash freeze?
They're paralyzed, which means they can't move, can't take actions.
Oh, it's not ice frozen.
Yeah.
It is ice frozen.
It is ice frozen, but just from the outside. They're not like dead.
Okay, so they are encased.
Yes, they're encased in ice, I think, is the idea here.
Okay. So being encased in ice can totally happen in D&D. Your character wouldn't necessarily die from it.
Yeah.
So I could see that being a thing. Being frozen from the inside, I feel like that makes you dead.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes you real dead.
I agree.
And like certain characters, like if you're a fire elemental, can you be frozen?
No.
I
don't think so.
No. If you're a water elemental, does anything bad happen to you when you're frozen?
That might be up to interpretation. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Right?
Yeah, who knows? I have a gripe with this one, though.
With the Frozen?
Yeah. I really don't like this one. Specifically because it says you have resistance to all damage except for fire, and you're vulnerable to fire damage. If you're frozen, why are you vulnerable to fire damage? Wouldn't you be like immune to fire damage? Or like definitely resistant to fire damage? And also, why are you resistant to all damage? How does being frozen help protect you from psychic damage?
Okay, so psychic damage, yeah. Brain freeze. So psychic damage.
Yeah, like
I think that should be fine. So
necrotic damage,
necrotic damage. I feel like psychic is the only one that could get you as easily if you're encased. Like if you're in a block of ice, force damage isn't gonna hit you the same.
Oh man, but
like
force damage. I mean, but
piercing, bludgeoning.
I think
slashing. Those aren't gonna reach you.
I just think that the rules need to be a lot more complicated, because I think that if enough damage is done to you when you're in a block of ice, you shatter.
That's what I was gonna say. Have you ever been outside in the cold? Everything hurts more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Everything hurts way more.
This person
when you're nearly frozen. Like, look,
this person's never been to the cold.
I've gotten frostbite on my hands.
Yes, you have.
Holding a notebook hurts when you have frostbite. All right, like touching it.
Yeah.
Physically touching anything in your hand, that hurts.
And
I remember that.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant. I was waiting for the school bus one day, and it came really late, and it was like one of the coldest days of the year. I was in like fourth or fifth grade, something like that. And rather than just walking home, which was like a minute or it was 2 minutes away maybe, I just stayed at the bus stop, and I was like, I'll just wait.
Yeah,
and
that's what I would have done.
I didn't tell anybody. I didn't. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, that's literally no different than what I would have done. So.
Yep. And then I got on the bus and looked down at my hands, and boy, oh boy, were they messed up. And they've recovered a lot.
Not completely, though.
Not completely.
Not completely.
No, there's some probably permanent. Anyway, so that's what I'm saying with the frozen one. If you got frostbite, where it's frozen like inside.
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't like all the way in there, but it was in there enough. Yeah, that's bad stuff forever.
Yeah.
Basically, that status effect is not powerful enough for what it is.
Right.
That should be like a 9th level spell would be freeze a bunch of things right now.
Yeah.
And then they're dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're basically dead. If they survive it, they're permanently damaged. That's what I think. Anyway, what's the next guy?
Frailed.
I like the name of it. That's fun. Can you remind me of the effect again? Oh, it's the one where it's the enfeebled one.
No. That's weakened.
That's weakened.
This goes in alphabetical order.
Oh, right.
Their AC is reduced by 5, and they have disadvantage on Constitution saving throws, and that's it. That's all it says.
That's what should happen when you're in the cold.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
That you're frail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's exactly perfect.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe you don't really think that one's necessary. Maybe you don't like that one as much. That's what I was thinking for you. But now I'm thinking, hey, if you're playing a campaign in the middle of Russia in the winter,
yeah,
that's it. You're dealing with that the whole time.
At some point, you guys are going to be at that volcano in winter.
Yeah.
It's been spring this whole time.
Yep.
And it's currently transitioned into summer.
Mm-hmm.
One day, though, you guys are going to be having to take a trek. That's going to be tough. Anyway.
Oh, actually, so the spell frostbite. Is it frostbite?
Frostbite's a spell, yeah. I don't remember what it does, but
so it does ice damage.
Cold damage.
Cold damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I got to get my terminology right, dude.
That's fine. It doesn't matter too much.
It does cold damage, but then it gives the person who got hit disadvantage on attack rolls with weapons.
Oh, okay.
Because your hands are cold.
Yeah, and your arms are cold. Yeah.
Yeah. It legitimately, it's just harder to use your fingers and swing stuff with your hand, and you can't hold on to your weapon as easily and stuff like that.
Yeah. You ever do, okay, those of you who live in cold enough climates, you ever go out, you're outside for a while, your hands start to go numb, and then you go inside. You ever try opening and closing your hand really fast?
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yep.
It's physically impossible to do that fast.
Yep.
Also, don't run your hand under hot water after coming right in from the cold. Bad idea.
Besides that, if you just put the water on its coldest setting, and run your hands under it, it's gonna feel hot.
Yeah, it's gonna feel.
You'll be fine. You'll feel great. You'll be like, oh my god, this is what I needed. I got a little hot tub here for my hands.
Yeah.
And then when the water starts to feel cool, then you can turn it up if you want.
Yeah, then you know you're fine, probably. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think we needed that safety tip for anybody. What's up next?
No, you're right. We didn't. Okay. Poisoned reworked, like the additional rules for poison condition.
We didn't need to rework it. Let's just keep it how it is.
Okay, I kind of like that one.
It's good, but I don't know. Skip.
You're right. Okay, possessed.
I love possession.
Yeah,
it's in 5e.
It is. Yeah. It's.
I don't know if it works like that though.
It's in creature rules. Not all spectral creatures can do it, I think. But there are some that can.
So I was thinking of what's that campaign? There's a campaign.
Curse of Strahd.
No, the other one. Tomb of Annihilation.
Tomb of Annihilation.
Possession is featured prominently in it.
Mm-hmm.
The characters who possess the players are, by the way, it's the players who get possessed, not the other way around. Surprise.
Oh man, never would have guessed that.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
But the characters who possess the players, I don't think try to take full control over them, but they do mess with how their mind works and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. That's already plenty for me.
Cool.
But yeah, I think possession is awesome, and it should be in D&D.
Slippery.
Oh, it's the best.
I love slippery.
It's so fun.
Condition. Slippery should be a condition for sure.
Well, first of all, slippery terrain with the extra 5 movement.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
But then like you can the problem with that is you can be like, I'm gonna stop here. But maybe
No, I think it's fine for the characters to know, because you would know,
right?
If you knew the floor was slippery, or if you knew you were slippery, you would know, if I try to stop here, I'm probably gonna end up over there.
I feel like maybe if you try to stop during your slide, things get attacks of opportunity on you because you're not moving at full speed; you're slowing down.
Yes.
Maybe that would be how you get people to slide right past enemies and stuff. Because I think that's fun.
It is fun.
I want to slide.
But I think how far you slide is based on how much you moved.
There we go.
It's like half your movement, maybe.
There we go.
If you move 30 feet, you slide 15. Yep. I think that makes sense.
Yep.
Half your movement rounded up, maybe.
Yeah, now we're talking.
I think that makes sense because
then you can't. Then there's a minimum of 10 feet of movement. I like that.
Not necessarily. A lot. I think if you move only 5 feet, you can.
I like that you slide.
Okay.
Right?
Like I like that you slide too. Yeah.
Because suddenly there's holes all over the battlefield where you just can't go.
Oh, it's like chess. Oh, that really makes it like chess.
Yeah. That really you can eventually get to those spots, but it's hard.
Wow, that really adds a whole other dynamic to the fight.
It really does.
Wow.
It's a cool one.
This is really compelling.
It's a good one.
It's way more compelling than I thought. I just thought it was a funny idea, but this is interesting.
It's a funny and interesting idea. The best kind.
Yes, the best kind. I agree. Okay, squibbed.
It's in the game. Is it?
Kinda. Yeah. I mean,
yes.
It could be like
squib is good. It's a good thing. It should happen.
I guess it's in the game, but it can't happen to arcane users. Like there's no way to take the magic away from a wizard.
You're right. Yeah, because you can't just like be like, oh, you can't touch the weave now.
Yeah, or like a sorcerer. Like they don't.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting.
Warlocks, yes. Clerics, yes.
Like
is a little bit.
Like you could make it so that a high level what's the spell I'm looking for? A high level the one that stops magic from happening.
That one.
Dispel magic.
Yes.
A high level dispel magic could squib somebody.
Yeah.
I think though in that instance 1d4 hours too strong. I'm thinking like 1d4 or maybe even 1d6 if we're getting crazy rounds.
Yes.
Yeah, because
yes.
Otherwise,
well, okay. So what if it's dependent on the casting time of the spell used to squib someone?
That's probably true too.
Like if I spend a whole day using this spell on you, if I'm like dawn to dusk, I'm casting this one spell, you should be squibbed for like 30 minutes plus.
Well, I think
or more, but yes.
You hit the nail on the head. I think that whatever amount of time you spend to cast it is the number of d4 of that. So if you take one action to cast it, it's 1d4 rounds. Mm-hmm. If you take 10 minutes to cast it, it's 1d4 tens of minutes, right? Or if you take an hour, it's 1d4 hours. Yeah.
You could even,
that's fine.
You could modify it further because I feel like if a level 20 wizard wanted to squib your level 2 character, first of all, something went really wrong that that's happening.
Yeah.
But I feel like they could squib them for months with like maybe 40 minutes of preparation or something.
Possibly.
They could be like, hey, I'm just gonna real quick, what do I have to do today? I got some dudes to squib, and then like I don't know what else. And then like maybe your character is just like, I don't have magic. I guess I'm not a wizard anymore for now.
Oh, I've got it. Mm-hmm. It can work like a combination of mind. What the heck is that spell called? Mind modify memory. It's like I think it's like a combination of modify memory and gush, where so for modify memory, if you cast it at higher levels, you can modify a memory from a longer amount of time ago. Mm-hmm. And with gush at higher levels, you can command them to do something for a longer amount of time.
Right.
And I think if you do it like that, so if you cast dispel magic at higher levels, maybe that squibs them for a longer amount of time.
But also has a longer casting time somehow? Or?
No, but also if you cast it using a longer casting time, you can squib them for a longer amount of time. Mm-hmm. So if you cast it at 9th level for an hour, you can squib them for some months. You know?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. The only thing I don't like is being able to mid-combat be like, you're squibbed for an hour. You know, that's the thing that we'd have to be careful about.
But if you cast it at 9th level, I mean, that's pretty... You're using a 9th level spell slot for it.
Yeah. I guess, could you counterspell it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're fine.
All right.
I guess we can make that.
And the other thing, too, I guess you could do is like other higher level casting spells, you could just increase the number of D4 rounds. So like 9th level. I don't know what level Dispel Magic is. I think it might be 2nd level. I don't know. It's not very high.
Yeah, it's like 2nd or 3rd.
It's not very high, but 3rd would make more sense.
No, it's not 3rd level.
No?
No. Oh, no, sorry. I was thinking of Detect Magic. No, yeah, Dispel Magic is 3rd level.
Okay.
It's 3rd. Edward
and
has it.
If it's not, then laugh at us in the comments. Okay. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. So what's the average on 74?
74. It's 2 times 7, 14.
14. It's a little higher than that, I think, because of the way averages work for dice rolls. But
yeah,
14.
Oh, it would be 2.5 times.
Yes,
7.
2.5 times 7.
Hey Google, what's 2.5 times 7?
The answer is 17.5.
17.5.
Okay, so like 17, 18 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so if you were to cast it at 9th level, maybe you could 17 or 18.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Rounds.
Yeah.
Which would be almost 2 minutes.
Yep. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay. I think we have figured it out, guys. You can use this in your campaign now.
Yeah. Or you could do it a different way.
Or you could do it a totally different way and ignore all of our hard work.
Sure, just ignore our hard work. Okay, last one is Weekend.
I don't really like his music.
Wow.
The Weeknd?
Oh, you don't like him?
No, not really.
The Weeknd? Oh.
I mean, I think he's good. I just I don't jam to it, you know? Like it's not him, it's me.
I didn't really listen to his more recent stuff. I've jammed to The Weeknd before. I think I like The Weeknd.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. What about the spell or the status effect rather?
No.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I mean,
Rave Enfeeblement is a spell that you can do. If you really want to do that to somebody, use Rave Enfeeblement.
I like the idea of having other ways of inflicting the same things as some of these spells.
Well, I mean,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, all you would have to do is you could make a poison that does the same effect as Rave Enfeeblement.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yep. I like that.
Perfect.
Okay.
I have another one, but I don't know if this one's quick.
You know what? Yeah, we've got time for a little bit more homebrew today.
Okay.
Then we'll just do another quick thing to close out the episode. That's all.
Perfect. Okay. This spell is called Speak with Pet Rock.
Oh my god. Okay. Wait, give me a minute here. Speak with Pet Rock. First of all, can we do we have credit for it?
Oh yeah. This is by The Arena Guy.
The Arena Guy. I like that name.
I
don't know why I like it. I just do.
Sure.
Okay. Speak with Pet Rock. Now listen. I love it. I already love it. I don't even know what it does. But here's why I love it. Number one, it introduces the very popular product, Pet Rocks, into D&D, and that's what we all needed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Number two, it sounds like what I can do is I say something to the Pet Rock and it says something to me. Does that have any application? I don't know if Pet Rocks have any sensory capabilities. All right. So can my Pet Rock see things or hear things? I don't know yet. But if it cannot, I have no reason to talk to this thing. Ever.
Yeah.
Right? There is sure, okay, if it can see stuff, I can leave it somewhere and it will. Are Pet Rocks already a thing in D&D? Is this spell just oh, and you can talk to your Pet Rock wherever you are? Or okay, let's hear about it now. I'm ready for it.
Well, great news for you.
Yeah.
It's a cantrip. So you can do it as much as you want.
Oh my god. Okay, now what I like is the pointlessness of it.
Yep.
I love that.
Why
would you do that? Okay, tell me about these pet rocks.
It's an action and it lasts for 1 round.
Okay, because you say like one thing to it.
Yeah, it's verbal and somatic, so I'm sure the verbal component is whatever you want to say to it, right?
And this somatic, what's the somatic component?
Picking up your rock friend. Maybe you pet him.
I like that. Okay,
pet your rock
so
friend.
you have to hold it while you talk to it.
This sounds like a druid thing, but listen to this. Bards, clerics, druids, sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards. They just wanted to give everybody this spell.
They didn't give it to fighters, the most important.
Or paladins.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let me just read this to you. You touch a tiny rock.
Okay.
Or stone surface no larger than a 1 foot cube. That's pretty big. Actually, 1 foot cube.
Yeah. I guess it counts as tiny in D&D.
Imbuing it with extremely limited sentience.
Oh.
And giving it the ability to communicate with you and only you and follow your simple commands?
Wait a minute. Okay. Let's keep going.
You can question the rock about how it feels about events that occurred within 10 feet of it within the past hour. So that's the limitation.
It has memories and stuff.
Okay.
An
hour of memory. It responds to you by telepathically communicating simple ideas, emotions, or images. So it can't talk.
It doesn't speak English.
Nope.
It just okay.
A creature observing the interaction. I always love when these spells have rules for if somebody watches you do this. A creature observing the interaction must succeed a DC 20 intelligence check. That's high. To discern that the rock is indeed temporarily magical and not just an ordinary rock. So to most people, you look like you're just talking to a rock.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. When you cast the spell, roll a d20. On a 20, the rock briefly wobbles in excitement at its sudden consciousness. So you can get the rock to move a little bit. On a 1, the rock telepathically communicates the words, "Oh no, not again," as it sheds a tear and breaks into pieces.
Okay, listen, Wizards of the Coast. If your money printers break down, I know how to fix them. We just what was this dude's name? The arena guy. The arena guy. Can I and who was the other person? Some Mudkip something. Listen, I like both of you.
Yeah,
I like both of you.
I do too.
Mudkip Ninja. The slippery status effect. Plus the pet rock. Oh my god. That's some good stuff.
Endless fun.
What if your rock is slip? Doesn't matter right now. We'll talk about that later. Now,
okay. One more sentence.
Yes.
Casting the spell on a non-magical rock that is no larger than a 1 foot cube that has chipped, broken, or been destroyed in the last minute repairs it to its previous state. So you can fix your little rock friend if he broke.
Oh my god, that's awesome!
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm just gonna tell you. This is like a companion spell to a much more serious, very, very nicely illustrated 3rd level spell called Speak with Stone that actually looks like it has practical application. I'm not going to talk about that spell, though.
Was it by the arena guy as well?
Yeah, it's like it's on the same post.
Listen, the arena guy, you're excused from your homework for this episode. You've clearly put in the extra work here.
Yeah. People are awesome, man. I love this.
Yeah.
So much.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Now, I guess we got to close out this episode.
We do, yeah.
I want everybody to go to xkcd.com. That's xkcd, the letters, .com/2, 3, 2,372. That's 2,372 in your hymnals. And we're gonna take this dialect quiz. So don't read too much of it, okay?
Okay.
All right, don't look at it too much.
All right, I won't look at it.
I have already done this. This is just for fun, okay? This has nothing to do with anything. But sometimes D&D is just for fun. This doesn't have to do with D&D.
Not very often, but sometimes D&D is just for fun.
All right, so we'll start the quiz.
Okay.
How do you address a group of 2 or more people? Is it A, you?
Okay.
It's a dialect quiz, in case I didn't say that already for some reason. Dialect quiz. So it's like determining where your dialect is from. But it's also an XKCD comic. How do you address a group of 2 or more people? A, you. B, y'all. C, I have not been around 2 or more people for so long that I can't remember.
I'm between B and C, I think.
Okay, so either y'all or I have not been around 2 or more people for so long that I can't remember. How do you pronounce this word? Does it rhyme with antelope or develop?
Well, I would say Penelope.
You're gonna have to pick one of these 2 options. It should either rhyme with antelope or develop.
Penelope or Penelope. I'm gonna go with it rhymes with develop.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one better.
What do you call the scientific field that studies the stars? A, astrology. B, agronomy. Or C, cosmetology.
Well, obviously that's cosmetology.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
The study of the cosmos.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce this word? Is it A, Gonra? B, Junior? Or C, Genera?
That's definitely Junior. I'm gonna go with B.
Yeah.
B for sure. Not genre. That's dumb.
Do you pronounce the word spelled Google? See, I figured out how I could communicate that better now.
Okay, gotcha.
With a high-pitched yelp on the A, first syllable, or B, second syllable.
Let me check. Google? Yeah, it's the second syllable.
What do you call the thing on the wall at school that you drank water from? Is it A, gutter pipe, or B, drain pipe?
Yeah, that's a drain pipe. Everybody knows. B for sure.
Good. How do you pronounce the name for a short silent video file? Is it animated GIF? Or animated gift?
Animated gift. B again.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you call the baseball-sized garden bugs that, when poked, glow brightly and emit a warbling scream? Stop making me laugh, man.
I'm sorry.
A, what? Or B, lawn buddies?
I'm definitely going to go with A on that one.
Okay.
Okay. I call them what? Yeah, absolutely.
What do you call the misleading lines painted by disgruntled highway workers to trick cars into driving off the road? A, prank lines. B, devil's marks. C, fool me lines. D, faux guides. That's spelled F-A-U-X, not F-O-E. Or E, Delaware lines.
Man, those are prank lines, man. A for sure.
Okay. Okay. What do you call the blue-green planet in the outer solar system? A, Uranus, or B, Neptune?
Neptune.
Okay. What do you call this tool? A, banger. By the way, it's a picture of a tool with a like sort of handle and then a little bit of a shaft. And then it's got like a round cylinder sort of thing, like a beak, like a cylinder beak that's flat on the front. And then on the back side, it has like another beak that's these two little prongs you can use for pulling nails out of things that you just pounded them into with this tool. It's a tool for pounding nails into things.
Yes. Okay.
Is it called A banger, B, a nail axe, C, a wood mage wand, D, I'm familiar with this tool but have no specific word for it, or E, I have never seen it before?
I've never seen something like that before in my life.
Okay.
E. Yeah.
What do you call a long sandwich with meats and lettuce and stuff? A long sandwich with meats and lettuce and stuff. B, a long quitch. Or C, a salad hot dog.
That's a long witch, man.
Yes,
B,
what see, we're finally in agreement.
What else would you call that? Yeah.
What do you call the scaly, many-legged animals often found in attics? A, light bulb eater. B, I have no special name for them. C, I've never looked in my attic.
Yeah, those are light bulb eaters.
Oh, I've never looked in my attic.
Oh.
Anna says we can't look in the attic here because she already knows that it's super haunted. What do you say when someone around you sneezes? A, what was that? B, oh wow. Or C, quietly, yikes.
Oh man, I know what Paul would say. He'd say yikes.
Yeah.
But what would I
That's
say?
that Pittsburgh dialect, man.
Yeah.
I actually do. For me, I know which one it is, but
yeah, I'd go with A.
Oh, for me, it's B. So you'd say, what was that?
Yeah,
and I'd say, oh, wow.
But I would say it more like, what was that?
Okay.
Not like I didn't know what it was, but more like, dude, what's wrong with you? What was
So this one's a bonus question. It's not really multiple choice.
Okay.
Do you make a distinction between shallots, scallops, and scallions? If you use all three words, do they all have different meanings, all the same, or are two the same and one different?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know what I mean, I know what they all are, but I do probably get them confused. At least somewhat. That was the honest answer, though. I guess that wasn't funny.
So the results of there is actually not a place for results. You just kind of
you just take the quiz.
It's just like one of those like, what color is the dress for you?
Oh yeah.
It's just interesting to know your answer for it. That's all.
Okay.
And that's kind of how that's a thing in D&D.
Yeah.
Like, what color would Liam see the dress as? I don't know. But I did find out he's colorblind at one point.
Really?
Yeah, he's colorblind.
Oh, really?
He is colorblind, yeah.
Okay, you're talking about Liam. I thought
Liam.
For a second I thought you said Edward, and I was like, how could you possibly know that for sure?
Yeah.
But okay, really.
You know what? I might go through this and take it as Edward and see what his dialect would come out as. Like the first one's y'all.
I'm glad. Well, he said that many times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. I'm glad I know what my dialect is now.
Yeah.
That was a nice quiz.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys, I hope you followed along with us at home there. And maybe you didn't have your podcast partner making you crack up the whole time.
I'm sorry, I was being silly.
Oh, guys, stay special.
Yes, absolutely.
We're gonna miss you until next Monday.
Good night.
Bye.